welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. Quite honestly, it's got to be the best all-round fishing show on YouTube. We're going to be doing a little bit of shore bass fishing. It's going to be clear water over on one of the peninsulas, the Seven Heads Peninsula, on the other side of the water to us in Ireland, out of Courtmacsherry. I was boat fishing there, got blown off recently, as you do in Ireland. It is Ireland, a lot of wind over there. I thought, do you know what, I'm still going fishing. What can I do? I'll go exploring, as you do. Now, if you go exploring, you can go miles and miles and miles in Ireland. Travel light spinning rod, nice light fixed spool reel like this 4000, 12-pound line, that's all you want. Cast out, flip, smooth drag, 13 ball bearings, a beauty, light, weighs nothing with a rod and reel. Or you can try multipliers. This is a nice Accurus multiplier, but not great casting with very, very light lures. And when I say light lures, I mean little chaps like this Sidewinder, little, what I call that firetail, that one. This is probably our best bass fishing lure from the boat as well, and pollock. Oh man, they just destroy it. But they do a bigger size as well. I'll just show you this one. That is our best bass catching colour. I've no idea about other people, but that one is a sort of pearly white, has proven far and away to be one of our best catching lures for pollock and bass. It's heavier, that size. What's that, about 5-inch size? Very supple, very soft sort of rubber or latex it's made of, so good action because it's so subtle, soft and supple. It's stretchy, and you've got a little split there for the hook. You see, goes into. It's all fixed. It's all moulded with the weights an integral part of the body there, so that casts really well. But the ones we've really been getting fish on, we call them a chubby chunky. No idea what they are really. I think they're a shad. They're another Sidewinder lure, obviously. But these cast like missiles, these ones. They cast like beauties. And they're shorter, so they go through the air better. And do you know what? For, say, average size bass, whoosh, just the right size. So there we go, guys. We're going to go over to Ireland, West Coast, just to have a sort of exploring session. I mean, sometimes it's nice just to go poking around rocks and gullies and cliff tops and footpaths and just, to be honest, just see where they go. So let's go over there. Only a short session, another little quickie from the Totally Awesome, but I can't waste any time. I couldn't take the big camera, it's just too dangerous on the rocks there. I found some absolutely gobsmacking scenery over there. Mark Gannon told me all about it, and he said it's a beautiful place, and it certainly is. And I tell you what, I'm going to be going back there, hopefully, quite soon. Let's check it out. The Seven Heads Peninsula runs out from Courtmacsherry Bay right round to Clonakilty. Courtmac itself is about 40 minutes drive from the city of Cork, and it's one of the finest all-round sea fishing centres in Europe. Now, after 30 years of travelling to the area, I suddenly had the urge to want to see what was over the other side of the hill. I mean, the fishing is that good at Courtmac. I never seem to wander far from my base at Wood Point.
Well, I've got down onto the beach now here at Dunwall. It's absolutely beautiful down here, fabulous. Howling wind, southeasterly. So this is the only spot. I've never been here before in my life before. It's full of tourists. It's peak holiday season. I'm going to give it a go with those lures we talked about earlier on. Here is my attempted bass rod. It's a spinning rod. It's the top half of a broken carp rod. The bottom half is the winch fitting of another broken rod glued together, and it makes voila, a fishing rod. That's the lure. I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to have to walk. I can't take the big camera. There's nowhere I can take the big camera. There's just gorse bushes, brambles, nettles, rocks, boulders, everything, and I don't even know where I'm going. So it'll be mostly head cam stuff. So I'll be wearing the head cam. Fingers crossed you get to see some nice scenery, some good bass spots. Get to see some good bass spots. I don't hold out much hope of getting a bass. I must admit, it's absolutely brilliant blue sky. That's not the best conditions, as all bass fishermen know. But I'm here, I'm a long way from home, over here, Southern Ireland, gonna give it a go. Courtmacsherry, almost second home to me. Fingers crossed we get to show you something, guys. Let's get cracking on the hike.
So, it was on with a knapsack, a rod, reel and head cam, and I was away along the cliffs. marvelling at the spectacular clarity of the Atlantic Ocean. Why, I could have been climbing rocks anywhere in the Mediterranean. Take great care scrambling around on your own. You might be a great swimmer, but not after you've fallen out and cracked your head on a lump of Irish granite. I was there just after low tide, an ideal time to check out what I would be casting over. Clear white sand, with lure-grabbing rocks scattered close by. This area looked heaven to cast into. It also looked great for snorkeling. But hey, this was the Atlantic Ocean, this was Ireland. Calm down, dear, that water's still pretty cold. Bass are a true predator and drive sand eels and whitebait into those narrow gullies so they can trap and grab them. A visual hunter, any bass would have no trouble spotting any baitfish in this sort of water clarity. Even the tiniest rock pool was teeming with miniature life. It was an underwater world of marine wonder, but no bass. They will be out in the deeper water, waiting for the tide to flood in, and hopefully waiting to engulf my sidewinder lure. Well, at least I hoped.
Well, I've marched all the way round there, the wrong way round. I'm exhausted, no fish. I had about 50 casts, absolutely nothing. I think it was because I was on the sand, you know, on the edge of the sand. I just couldn't make it to get to the rough ground, which I could see. I could actually see the rough ground there. And I thought maybe I might pick a little, you know, 2-3 pound pollock up or something like that, at least salvage something, but it's not to be today. But I did know it's going to be tough. Sweating hot. I'm afraid, ladies, it's shirts off time. Men, it'll make your eyes water. Kids, go to bed early. I can't help it. It's absolutely sweating hot here. It is the body of Adonis, but there you are. It can't be helped. I'm going to go right round the other side of the bay. Still going to wear the head cam. Fingers crossed I don't frighten any babies, dogs or cows with my shirt off. But there's some more rocks around this other headland on the opposite side of the beach, and I'm just wondering if, as the tide floods, there might be some better gullies that I can actually get a lure in. Anyway, off to work again. Make base camp here, move out.
When the scenery is like this in Ireland, it's hard not to get carried away with the filming. I've travelled to 42 different countries, but just look at the view virtually right on my doorstep, and this is in Ireland. Every turn in the footpath revealed yet another great looking fishing spot, and from up on the headland I could work out exactly the way to get down to those best rock fishing platforms. The sun was blazing down, the heat was building, but days like this are so rare you just accept them with open arms. It really was Ireland at its best. I could see right down through 8 feet of water and fully expected the camera crew from the Pirates of the Caribbean to pop up next to me. What a setting to go bass fishing in. With views as awe-inspiring as this, you don't even need a fish. Hey, did I just say that? No fish? Sorry people, I must have been out in the sun too long. Don't forget to drop your lure into any slightly deeper pool. there could be a shoal of sand hills trapped in there, and as the tide starts to flood, the bass will move in there looking for them. This technique is called pocket casting, but you need to leave a second or two pulls in order for the lure to sink deeper. Search out every likely looking pool or gully. You never know which ones the bass might be moving into. And just look at what I discovered. My own secret bass pool of pure clear water, and with its very own pirate's cave. Now, was there anything in there? Treasure? Maybe skeletons? Mermaids? But persistence pays, and in one of those rock gullies I got slammed by a bass. He followed the shad lure in, and first glance through the aquamarine water I actually thought it was a mullet. But a further cast close in, and not one but two silver Irish bass were squabbling over who wanted to hit my lure first. I nearly fell off the rocks with excitement. Game on, as they say. Of course, being the Totally Awesome Fishing Show, I had no landing net. No, not even up at the car. So I just prayed that hook hold was good and that I could get close enough to the water's edge without falling in to at least lift it out and show you a picture. Now, if I had no camera, who would ever have believed I caught a beautiful silver bass in the most un-bass-like fishing conditions? So, should I kill the fish just to prove I'd caught it? No, afraid not. This one was going to get returned alive. He'd given me enough excitement. I mean, the climbing over all those rocks was invigorating enough, but plonk a nice bass on your line and I was in pure fishy heaven. This species always looks like the perfect fish for me. Its big, cavernous mouth, burnished silver sides, and spiky fins. The fact that they taste good doesn't really bother me because I don't want to eat them, just catch them. And that clear water, it looks cleaner than an aquarium. And just look at the magnificent underwater footage I got. It's not often you get to see a bass swim away, is it?
He says nearly falling over. What people? What did you think of that, eh? That bass? What a crackerjack fish. I'll tell you what, that really took me by surprise because I'd lost two good lures. One was a big sidewinder. Unfortunately, here's the tip. I found this out really more by luck than judgment. But the bass, they follow the lure in on a steady retrieve, and it seems if I jig it, that's when they nail it. That's when they seem to nail it, when I jig it. But they're following it in with a constant retrieve, and they're in those gullies. They're absolutely in the gullies. So what I've also got to do is I've got to cast more down the gullies. Don't cast across them. You're going to lose lures. I've lost two lures. Oh man, I was really pleased with that bass. What a fish, what a fish. And the water here is like tap water. It is gin clear. Head cam recharge, new battery, off we go again. Do you know what? Fingers crossed, as we say here at Totally Awesome. Oh, what a day it is. I mean, one bass is a major result. And just out of interest, it took, in case you didn't see it, what we call the chubby chunky. It's a sidewinder one with a head in it, but it's a little bit smaller. I'm in love with it. I may marry it now, especially if I get to see another one follow me up. Let's get back down there, guys.
So what do anglers do when they've just made a great catch of one of the most highly prized of all sea fish, the bass? Yep, that's right. After you shove some food and drink down your mouth, it's back to casting. You see, that's the trouble with lure fishing. The lures don't yet wind themselves back in. And that leaves more time for exploring, more clambering and scrambling. Hey, I'm 62 and I still love climbing over all those jagged rocks. The body of a Greek god, but unfortunately the brain of a pea. But I've always fished hard, as I find it often pays dividends. Plus, of course, look at all the great places I was seeing, and not another angler in sight. Well, okay, there might be when this film hits YouTube, but they still have to catch the fish. And when I say don't miss any pools, I don't mean one this small. Well, it is Graham Pullen that's fishing, I suppose, so what can you expect? He tries anywhere, for anything that swims. And talking of bass, oh dear, the Totally Awesome Fishing Show strikes again. And with just me fishing and filming all on my own. What an angler, what a fishing presenter. It has been said before, this man is a legend in his own lunchbox. Can any other fisherman produce a filming and fishing show entirely on their own? By risking life, limb and camera, our intrepid filmmaker walks the fine line between success and failure. His agile cat-like skills and military rock climbing prevent him from getting a bootful of water. I bet you lot would laugh if I fell in though.
It shows you that pocket fishing can really work. It's you know, pleasant fishing, something you can do on holiday, little light rod, reel, lures, selection of lures, travel light, knapsack, in my case cameras, but I couldn't take the big cameras, no way I could lug it all over all these rocks, so hopefully we got this footage on the head cam, and not too much wind noise here because that's the only place on the whole of Ireland I should think I could shelter out this wind today. But it just goes to show you, very unbass-like conditions, and yet bright sunny day, middle of the day, top of the tide, still got fish.
So if you get the chance to fish for bass on lures, I suggest you take it. You might just have a totally awesome fishing trip.